My dudes.
Hey!
How we
Yeah.
doing?
Hey!
Yeah.
I got a quick question for you guys.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to give you, I'm not actually going to give you this, but let's pretend I give you $20 each
Okay. I like where this is going so far.
in addition to a baseball ticket. So you're already in the game, okay?
Okay.
Oh, nachos.
Is that
Yeah.
What else? I mean, you can get more than just nachos. Or are you going like those supreme crazy nachos that are like $17?
Going ham with it, dude. I want the nacho helmets. I want to clean it out and then have a little souvenir afterwards. A little cheesy souvenir, dude.
All right.
Maybe I'm just an alcoholic, but I'm for sure saying thanks to the $20 and I'm buying 2 beers.
I was gonna say 2 beers is a good option. I might
But nachos is solid. If I can get like a cheaper nacho and 1 beer, I might be convincing.
Oh, just split the diff, just like
That's
an
what I was
$8
thinking.
nacho.
Yeah.
And
I don't
$12 beer.
Like just the chips and cheese with jalapenos on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
boy
a
doesn't
beer.
really do sour cream or guac or anything like that. So you give me chips, cheese, salsa, jalapenos. I'm a happy camper with some nachos.
I need to feel like a fat piggy eating out of a trough when I go to a baseball game, dude.
I think it depends on how hungry I am too. Like I think
Always hungry. Don't matter. Baseball game.
I like the chicken tenders too. Chicken
Yeah,
tenders
they
and
are really
fries.
good. With the honey mustard at a ball game too, man. Something about it. It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
How come nobody said a fucking Dodger dog, boys? A big old ding dong dinger. Get that glizzy out here, you know?
I don't know what half those words mean, but I do like a nice dog though.
Yeah.
I mean, a good hot dog is definitely good, but I don't know. It's nachos for me are more.
Yeah. I prefer bratwurst actually.
I would pay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would pay both of you $20 to let me watch you eat a hot dog in slow motion.
Done. Where the fuck do I sign up for that?
Totally fine. Yeah.
Let's start the show, boys.
You're listening to the Upper Decker Podcast.
Whoop, whoop. Welcome back to episode 62 of the Upper Decker Podcast. I just whooped like a juggalo. I'm your boy Ty.
I'm your boy Tone.
And I'm your boy Dan.
And the boys are back in town, baby. Let me scroll up to my position on my outline. I've got number 62. Justin Lewis Chamberlain. I got it messed up. Chamberlain. Just fucking fat Chamberlain. Well, I was trying to not say Jabba, but I was thinking don't say Jabba and then Chamberlain at the same time, and it came out as Chamberlain. Yeah.
That'll happen.
So we're going to talk about Jabba here a little bit. His sophomore year at the University of Nebraska, he went 10-2 with a 2.81 ERA. He had 130 Ks and 118 and 2/3 innings pitched. Pretty good move out there in old Nebraska.
Solid.
Fun fact about that is he finished 1 strikeout behind the Big 12 leader, who actually ended up being a future teammate of his in the majors. Any guesses as to who?
Well, I know it. But yes.
I mean,
why are you guys cheating?
It's literally right there. Don't put it on there if you don't want us to read it.
I didn't think you guys actually read my shit. It's Max Scherzer.
Like Ron Burgundy, man. If you put it there, I'm going to read it.
Right.
Fair enough. Okay, so Max Scherzer had 131 strikeouts that year. Pitching for Mizzou was good. You know how that goes. Jabba was also drafted with the 41st overall pick, which made him, at the time, the highest drafted Native American player in the history of the draft. So that's pretty neat. Kind of got a little overpassed there. Mr. John Gray is now the highest at 3rd overall, but it took him his 3rd time getting drafted to be that high.
That's all right. I also didn't know that John Gray was Native American. So
I also did not until I was doing research yesterday. So look at that. Do some homework, you figure things out, right?
Right.
And Jamba Juice's first 5 innings pitched, he allowed no base runners and struck out 8 hitters. Pretty legit.
Right.
And then New York, after his hot start, they instilled what they called the Jabba rules. So this is like they quote unquote call them the Jabba rules, which is tight. So he wasn't allowed to pitch on consecutive days. And then also depending on how many innings he threw, that would determine how many days off he took. So if he threw 2 innings, he would take 2 days off. If he threw 1 inning, he took 1 day off.
Okay.
Hmm.
What was the rationale behind that?
To limit his use. They didn't want him to blow his arm out, and they didn't want to overuse him. He came up hot. They didn't want him to just go out there and throw every game and blow his arm out. But
that's fair.
It kind of happened anyways. So speaking of that, after the injuries that he went through, he, transitioned to a starter for a little bit, didn't work out so hot. He latched on with the Royals in 2015 and the Indians in 2016. And the significance of that is he pitched for the reigning AL champs 2 consecutive years, but never made it to the postseason with them.
Oh, dang.
Oh, that sucks.
He did not pitch well enough throughout the season to make the postseason roster. So in 2015, spent the year with the Royals, didn't make it. Royals went on to win the World Series. 2016, spent it with the Indians. They went on to the World Series, did not win it. But still.
Right place, wrong time.
Right place, wrong time. Hey, also, boys, Kevin Rogers agrees.
Yeah.
Nachos, dog, all day.
It's got to be nachos.
So that wraps up the 62 for the episode. The rest of the episode, we're going to talk Wheelhouse. We're going to do a little bit of news, talk about that stuff. And then it's May, boys. We're going to talk about April. We're going to revisit our standings, projections, and predictions, along with our award predictions, and just kind of touch base with the guys and the teams and see how they're all doing. Spoiler alert, your boy is not doing too good. So tune in for that here in a little bit, and we will, for now, get into some birthdays. Tony Tone, take it away, my guy.
All right, my dudes. We got a few birthdays this week. We're going to start out with Mr. Adrian Gonzalez. He's 39, nicknamed El Titan.
Super sick.
Yeah, dude. Super, super sick.
Hey, there's John Gray. That was John Gray.
Look at that. I knew you were going to talk about him, and that's why now. He was definitely one of the more consistent hitters from the late 2000s to the mid 2010s. From 2006 to 2015, he averaged 159 games a season.
Okay.
Pretty solid.
Pretty reliable.
He was on the field during that time. During that same time frame from 2006 to 2015, he batted .292 with an .866 OPS, and he finished his career with over 2,000 hits and over 1,200 ribbies.
Look at him go.
Look at him go. I like Agon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the massive trade? Sorry, the massive trade that sent him, what was it, from LA to Boston or from Boston to LA?
From Boston to LA, and then he later was part of that just
stupid trade
the Dodgers trying to get rid of cash, from San Diego to Atlanta, but he never even played, I don't think.
Correct.
Yeah,
I remember that trade to, I already lost it, to Boston, right?
No, Boston to LA, because it was Agon, Carl Crawford, and Josh Beckett went from Boston to LA.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the biggest blockbusters that I remember, the first one.
Yeah, for sure. That was a huge deal. I found it interesting too. He didn't play for his first team or his last team because, like he said, he ended up with the Braves at the end. He was drafted, I think, first overall by Miami and never played for them. He got traded to Texas, didn't do shit in Texas, and then ended up with San Diego where he had his best years, I think. But
fair enough.
Right.
All right, boys. You know this guy?
I know him.
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
Oh, Willie Mays.
Willie Mays.
I mean, quite possibly the greatest player of all time. Hall of Famer, 24-time All-Star, 12 Gold Gloves, 2 MVPs, Rookie of the Year, 1954 World Series winner, finished his career with 156.1 WAR.
Jesus.
Over 10,000 at-bats, 3,200 hits, 660 home runs, a 302 average, and a career 941 OPS. That was all good for 39 black marks on Baseball Reference. I found this interesting. So he finished in the top 6 in MVP votes 12 different times, okay?
Okay.
He won 2, finished top 6 12 times. He got robbed a handful of times. So most notably was probably in 1962. Maury Wills had a 6 WAR that year. Mays had 10.5 WAR.
Oh.
And lost the MVP race to him.
Wow.
Even Ernie Banks in 58, it was a little bit closer when you look at the stats, but you could still make a very strong argument that Mays should have won the MVP that year. Get this. So 12 times he finished in the top 6. 9 times he finished in the top 5, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In 8 of those 9 years, he was number 1 in WAR. So you could argue based on WAR, which is not a perfect stat, but you could argue based on WAR that he should have won 8 MVPs.
All right. I mean,
That's silly.
Yeah, pretty crazy, man.
It's just kind of what the repeat offender type thing where it's like, oh, he's so good all the time. We got to give it to somebody else.
It is, absolutely.
Or don't. Like, just get after it, you know?
Just let him be the best, you know? So,
God, so good.
Hey, before we get into dope name, look at old Danny Lutz. He says, Tony Tone is a pretty dope nickname. Ty and Dan, you boys ever have a nickname you loved/hated when you were growing up? Dan, I'm going to you first.
I don't think I ever had a nickname growing up.
Well, it's because you didn't have friends and you weren't cool.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's fair. Like, it's totally fair. That's why I didn't have a nickname. Like, it was nothing cool. I think, like, my family called him, like, D for short. I don't know. I'm impartial to that one. My dad still calls me Bubba, but, I mean, I guess I can handle that.
I like Bubba.
I like Bubba for you, for sure.
I like Bubba. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've had 2. Well, I guess not really. I've had one that I don't like. People call me Ty Ty because they're like being
That's what we called my little brother, too.
Hate it. Hate it. I was also called Bobblehead growing up. And that's because story time. Big old noggin, right? Huge head. Like, it's been this size since I was born. Ask my mom, she'll say it.
Oof.
Yeah. Big bad news there. But growing up playing ball, I set the record for most hit by pitches in a season.
Okay.
With 20. Okay.
Wow.
Jesus.
12 of them hit me in the head. Shit you not.
Jeez, man.
I swear on everything.
If you would quit talking shit to every pitcher that you see, they'd quit throwing at you.
Bro, this is before I even like talk to anyone. I just showed up to.
I don't think there was ever a time where you didn't talk to anyone.
100% don't believe that.
You don't know me.
You've been talking shit since like 2nd grade.
That big ass head came out of your mom and was talking shit instantly.
Yeah, and I've been playing ball since I was in like 4 years old. I wasn't even in school yet.
Yeah.
I didn't start talking shit until I got good at ball. Then I had something to back me up. I was like, man, fuck you guys. I'm gonna go pro. Here I am.
Here we are talking about Willie Mays and talking about our last birthday and Tony Tone's dope name of the day, Zip Collins.
Kind of ugly boys.
Yeah,
he kind of looks like Voldemort.
He looks like he's having a really bad allergic reaction right here. Like he's super allergic to bees and he got stung in both eyeballs.
I was thinking he got caught like mid sneeze. Like the one picture that they got of him in history, he was waiting 30 minutes for the picture to develop and then sneezed, and that's where it grabbed.
Bro, look at those
nostrils. Or like someone just told him a fact that he doesn't believe, and he's like,
Flare them nostrils too, dog. God bless him.
I think I can climb up there.
Old Zip would be 129 today if he was with us. Yep.
Oh, he's big old.
That is big old.
Big old, dude.
He was a left-handed outfielder from Brooklyn, New York. He played 5 years between the Pirates, the Boston Braves, and the Philadelphia Athletics. That tells you how long ago he played.
Okay.
He was a subpar hitter. He batted a career .253 with a .610 OPS, 2 home runs, and 63 ribbies.
All right.
Not too great.
So close to nice, though.
But I do have an odd kind of stat. In 1916, he had 268 ABs. Zip only hit 1 double in those 268 at-bats, but he hit 6 triples.
Okay.
So, therefore, he technically holds the record for most triples in a season by a player that only has 1 double.
All right. I mean,
dumb baseball stat, but
MLB record's an MLB record. You can't ever take that away, I guess.
Right.
That is true. That is true.
Good for him. Good for old Zip.
Yeah. So that's your dope name and your birthdays this week.
Love that, dude. Let's go ahead. Let's move into some Wheelhouse real quick, and then we'll take a little break and come back and talk about our predictions and stuff. We're going to talk some injuries because we got a lot of them.
Right.
And I'm just going to list them off, and then we're going to talk. Cool?
Yep.
Cool.
So DeGrom went down. He's not on the injured list yet, but he has inflammation in his right lat, pretty much from, carrying the team. I understand why your back hurts.
Right.
Christian Yelich, same issue, lower back strain. He came back for a day and then went back on the IL. Not looking too hot for old Yelly.
No.
Luis Robert tore his hip flexor, out 12-16. Dustin May, A, gross, B, sucks. Tommy John out for the season, not great.
Wait, were you saying gross just like him in general or the injury?
Just looking at him, thinking of him, looking at him. Not a fan.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Jake Arrieta has a right thumb abrasion, sent him to the 10-day IL. Speaking of thumbs, Joey Votto fractured it today. He'll be out for about a month, they say. So, boys, I got a question. We're going to talk about this a little bit. Which one of these specific injuries is the most detrimental to the team that they're on right now?
It's a tough call. I think a lot of this hinges on how long DeGrom is actually out. He has not hit the IL yet, like you said.
Right.
If he does spend time on the IL, I think if it's anything more than 10 days or so, I think that could be the most detrimental. Long term, though, man, I mean, you could argue Luis Robert for sure. 12 to 16 weeks, they've already lost Aloy.
Right.
Giolito, Keuchel aren't pitching quite as well as they had hoped they would. So that might be it. Christian Yelich is scary too because it's just he just came back. He's going on the IL already. That could be a long-term thing, and the NL Central is not super strong. So the Brewers could run away with that if they had Yelich. But what do you think, Dan?
Yeah, man. For me, I'm kind of torn in the same realm. Like it's between DeGrom and Robert. I'm going to lean probably more towards Robert. DeGrom has obviously been just stupid good this year. But Marcus Stroman has also been stupid good this year and kind of under the radar. So I think that rotation can survive even if DeGrom does hit the 10-day IL. You mentioned the biggest point for me with Robert and the White Sox is they're already going to miss Eloy for the rest of the season. So now you're taking another outfielder away from an outfield that's already kind of underperforming this season.
Right.
So I think that one kind of hurts the most, especially given the time. Yelich, for me, Milwaukee's tied for first place, and they really haven't had him this year anyway. So getting him back is really just more of a bonus than anything.
Sure.
Dustin May, the Dodgers pitching depth is just embarrassingly deep. Arrieta, again, Cubs, I'm not really expecting much. And Votto, again, I'm not expecting much from Cincy, and he's not exactly himself either. So,
yeah, I will say with Arrieta, the only weird thing there is he's kind of been their best pitcher so far.
Sure.
I mean, but like you said, they're not in contention, so it
doesn't do anything
matter.
for me. Yeah, for me, it's Robert then DeGrom.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, beat a dead horse too much. You guys kind of got it all. The biggest thing with Robert is the extent of time and the fact that Eloy's already out for most of the season too.
Right.
Losing those two back to back like that is not great. I think DeGrom will be back soon, but you touched on Yelich being a bonus, even though the Brewers are performing and they're tied for first place right now. How nice would it be to actually have them for once? Their pitching is lights out. I know that a little bit of injuries have been coming here and there, a little COVID stuff, but if they can stay healthy, stay on the field, that's the first time the Brewers have had that in as long as I can remember. Right. So wouldn't it be so much better for them to have that superstar to get pushing? I know that they've made it this far without him, but imagine what they'd be doing with him. The Cardinals would be sleeping.
Yeah, Milwaukee's done well in the past when, at least in my opinion, they didn't have any pitching. And, aside from the bullpen, but, they didn't have a rotation. And now they kind of have a little bit of a rotation. And I know.
And the bullpen's kind of underperforming. It's kind of flip-flop.
Yeah, they're in a weird spot. It's not necessarily a bad spot, but you definitely want to see Yelich come back and solidify that lineup and see how far you can go this season. So.
Hey, speaking of comebacks, let's talk about those. Dan, dude, take it away, my dude.
Yeah, man. So let's get away from the negative here and start talking about some of these guys that are finally coming back from the IL. So Max Fried made his first start since April 13th, and where he got absolutely lit the F
Shut up. He was hurt.
I mean, his other start wasn't any better either. So he's back.
He probably hurt then too. Shut up.
George Springer. This one makes me big happy because I drafted him in fantasy. He came back, made his Blue Jays debut, hit 2 dingers on Saturday. He's day-to-day now. They said, Montoya said he's just feeling a little bit of tightness in the quad. Nothing that is going to require the IL. It's just literally coming back from a quad injury. It's going to take time. You can't just go right back into a full MLB schedule. Ryu, also staying in Toronto, looked pretty good in his return Thursday for the, or he looks like he's going to be good to return Thursday for the series finale against Oakland.
Because he was butthurt.
Luke Voigt. Starting his rehab assignment in AAA Scranton. That is big. I like that one a lot. Obviously, we know he led the MLB in home runs last year. So maybe he's the key to kickstart that offense in the Bronx that has been underperforming so far. Dinelson Lamet coming back from forearm tightness. Feels good in his return. Gave up 4 hits, but no walks, no runs. So that's a good start.
Nervous.
And old Anthony Rendon, since coming back from the IL, he's got an 866 OPS. That's pretty solid. But now he's day-to-day after fouling off a ball on his knee. So hopefully that's nothing more than just a bruise, and he'll be back after a couple days. So,
dog, the Angels just can't catch a break out there, man.
No, they can get it all going if they can keep everybody healthy. So out of all of them, though, I'm curious to think what your guys is, kind of the same as what we just talked about here. Which return do you think is going to give that team kind of the biggest boost heading into trade season here?
Dude, I'm going to go with Mr. Luke Voigt because the Yankees not looking so hot. They are missing a piece somehow. I mean, you look at their lineup and it's stacked, but they're just all underperforming. You get a guy back who, he's been resting, been healing, been taking care of himself. If you get the major league leader in home runs back in your lineup, get some more protection on top of, the 5 guys you've already got for protection. If he comes in hot and the rest of them start feeding off of that, that's going to be a big roll out there, and old New York's going to go on a streak.
Yeah, Voigt's huge for that team, like absolutely huge for that team. That's probably my number one, but just to throw out something different, I'm going to say George Springer for the Blue Jays. That's huge. It's already a good offense, but we know like how much better it can be with him in there, kind of setting the table. And Anthony Rendon too. I don't know exactly what's going on with him because Dan said, he fouled that ball off his knee and he's kind of still hurt, but he's a seriously solid part of that lineup, even, aside from Trout, and he's got to be in there for the Angels to have any shot at doing anything this year. So,
yeah, I think for me it's probably Fried. Ty, you'll probably like hearing that one.
Hooray!
Because honestly, if you go back to the NLCS, the difference between the Dodgers being in the World Series and the Braves being in the World Series was starting pitching. That was it. And the Braves starting pitching took such a hit from injuries that if they can stay healthy, they've already proved that they can hit at the same level that the Dodgers can. So for me, that should propel Atlanta. And then even if they go out and get another piece at the trade deadline, I think that's the biggest piece for me if they can keep their starters healthy. So that's a good step.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
I enjoy that, dude. Tone, you want to talk about this? This just happened, bro.
No,
breaking news.
Right.
Not really breaking. It was about an hour ago. But John Means from the Baltimore Orioles.
Mongene.
What?
Mongenes.
Mom jeans?
Mom jeans.
Oh, mom jeans. Oh, that's pretty good. I thought you said mom jeans. I was like, what?
Been thinking about it for like an hour, dude.
That's a weird nickname. John Means threw a no-no today in a 6-0 win over Seattle. 12 strikeouts, 0 hits, obviously. 0 walks.
That's good.
Yeah, a batter reached on a drop third strike. I think the official scoring was wild pitch. I don't know if you guys saw the pitch. It was nasty. It was an insanely nasty pitch, and Pedro Severino absolutely 100% should have should have stopped the ball.
No,
it should have been a perfect game. It should have been a perfect game. It was a nasty slider that dropped in the dirt, and Severino stood up for it. Instead of going down, instead of falling on it,
anticipating a bounce up higher, I guess.
Maybe, I have no idea, but that sucks.
That does suck.
No hitter's still really cool though. First Orioles no in 30 years, but that was a combined no hitter. So this is the first Baltimore complete game no hitter since 1969.
Nice.
He's
Jim
also
Palmer.
He's also the first pitcher in Major League Baseball history to throw a no-hitter without recording a hit by pitch, walk, or error.
Okay, so you got that. You got that going for you. Good job, John Means.
Yeah. So first time it's ever been where the lone base runner was a strikeout victim. So, tell me, I kind of already gave away my opinion here, but tell me what you guys think. Are you a little pissed at Pedro Severino if you're John Means?
Oh, for sure.
I don't know, man.
I mean, you tell people you're not, but for sure.
Well, of course, you tell him you're fine and all that, but
I'll have to go and watch it because I was napping while it happened. But I saw the ending. I saw all that. That's all fine. I'm not too pissed off at Pedro Severino at the moment. I just think that rule is fucking stupid. It's so old. Get rid of it. Tired of it. Drop third strike. It's still your third strike. You're out.
Right. I agree.
Let it be perfect. I'm done with that. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, I guarantee you, no matter how mad John Means or any of the fans are at Pedro Severino, nobody is going to be more mad at Pedro Severino than Pedro Severino. I 100%. Guarantee you that.
Yeah, you know he's beating himself up. Also, congratulations to John Means. However, how many more of his starts are we going to watch where he rubs the inside of his glove between every single pitch and nobody says anything about it?
Hopefully all of them, because
honestly, let
him have it.
I don't even know. It's annoying, but I don't know how to even get mad at specific people because there's so many people doing it that.
Yeah, but it's so blatant, and MLB is like, we're gonna crack down on it. Why aren't you? You took Trevor Bauer's balls the other day, and now you're just blatantly letting John Means. You can see it. He grabs it, rubs it, tosses the ball back and forth, rubs it, and then goes. Nothing against John Mean. I'm cool with substances. But if you're going to say something, follow up with it. Do that as well.
It's because every single pitcher in the league does it. So no team wants to be the one to call it out because it's going to eventually come back to them too. So it's just kind of like an unspoken agreement among all teams that, okay, and even the batters will tell you too, is if they need to rub something on their pitching hand to have more control, which means I'm not going to get hit in the head with a pitch, then by all means, let them do it. So
by all means.
Hey guys, dudes. Speaking of things that have never happened before, Huascar Inoue. Did you guys see that?
This dude.
He hit a dinger in his second straight start. So this is the second time he has not given up a run, but also hit a home run in a game. Super fucking tight. This time it was a grand slam, led to a 6-1 win over Washington. It was the first grand slam by a pitcher since Dace Clefini back in 2018.
Nice.
And let's be honest, that was a bomb. That wasn't even
it was a no-doubter.
Yeah, he didn't just boop. Nope, he crushed it, stared at it, pimped it. I love it. All about it. On the season now, the 22-year-old is 3-1 with a 2.36 ERA and a .90 WHIP.
That was my best fantasy pickup in the last 4 years.
Yeah, he did real bad. He had a good start and then a real bad one, and now he's got these two.
It's two really good ones.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. We'll see.
He did cost me $45 though, because one start in FanDuel.
Told you.
I was torn between Inoue starting against Chicago in Wrigley and Dunning starting at home against Texas. I typically err on the side of starters at home versus on the road, and I went with Inoue for whatever reason. He got lit up by the Cubs, and the difference between me winning and losing was literally the difference in points between Inoue and Dunning, and he cost me $25.
Unreal.
Sorry.
So also Wander Franco, making the move.
Big move.
He jumps from high A to triple A.
Yeah.
And in his first game, he goes 3 for 5 with an RBI triple for the Durham Bulls.
That's weird.
Speaking of Durham Bulls, probably the best baseball movie ever, Bull Durham.
I don't know about best ever, but it's a good one.
All tripping. Whatever. Do you guys have any guesses as to when we might see him with Tampa Bay? What are you thinking? This season, next season, September call up?
I think September call up. I think they'll give him a shot in September without, using his rookie eligibility.
Yeah, it sucks because we all know how we all feel on the service time manipulation. We all fucking hate it here. So they can control him through 2028 if they keep him down until April of next year. So if they don't bring him up until next year, so they can gain that extra year. Versus if they call him up this year, then they burn a year. I mean, they still have him until 2027. So I'm leaning towards we won't see him until next year, which is absolutely stupid because he is tearing it up in the minors. But I don't know. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I hate it.
Tampa's not exactly notorious for service time manipulation, but it's still the major leagues, so you can never take it out of consideration.
Right.
It'll probably depend on the standings, too, and where Tampa's at in the AL East come July, August, And I don't know. If they don't have a need for him, if he's not going to be able to help them win the division or win a wild card spot, you're probably right. We might not see him until next April. So.
Yeah, and all Adames has to do is just be kind of good, and they can justify keeping him down, keeping Franco down.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Ty, what do you know about old Jesus Lizard?
Oh, man, I don't know much. Why don't you tell me about him?
Jesus Lizard.
Jesus Lizard.
Jesus Lizardo.
There it is.
Yeah.
He injured his pitching hand playing video games before his start.
Yep, fucking Call of Duty, dude. Unreal.
Oof.
He was playing, and apparently he swung his hand real fast and just smoked the table next to him. He went in, he showed the manager his hand, told him what happened. It was swollen a little bit, but they decided to let him pitch. I don't think that was a good idea.
Nope, my fantasy team agrees too.
Yeah, young talent. Don't risk anything. And sure enough, he lasted just 3 innings versus Baltimore.
Longer than I last, though.
Oh,
hey!
That's fair. Allowed 6 runs, had noticeable command issues, 2 walks, 2 wild pitches. And then the post-game x-rays showed a hairline fracture in his left pinky. Woof.
Yeah, not great.
Not great.
So we've discussed this before, but what are some of your guys' favorite baseball injuries? We've had
I got to go with my boy, I think. Trevor Bauer and the old drone.
The drone.
That was insane. He, sliced his finger open, pitched in the playoffs, and was just pouring during the game. It was brutal, dude.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I think I still got to go with Zach Wheeler hurting himself putting his fucking pants on. Yeah. Like, that's terrible. Like, how do you hurt yourself so bad putting your pants on?
Sure.
Every mom that ever warned against watching video or playing video games is cheering right now. He's not right. Not wrong. Not wrong.
Right.
He's not wrong.
He is right. Yeah. No, absolutely.
I feel like we also have to talk about Matheny cutting his hand open.
Buck knife.
In the playoffs. Yeah. Up on the gift from his wife. Yeah, that was a bad one too.
Yep.
What do you guys think he was playing? Was he playing Call of Duty, you think? Or do you think that he found out he's like a 73 overall on the show and got heated?
I think he was probably playing the show and he was getting pissed off.
He's like, I'm getting wrecked right now, just like I have been all year. Unreal. Stupid.
It was probably one of them. Yeah.
Hey, so also, Amir Garrett, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
Okay, that's dumb.
Yeah, talk about it, Dan. You're on it. Go for it.
He gets a 7-game suspension for quote-unquote inciting a benches clearing incident in the game against the Cubs last week. Obviously, he's going to appeal it. Everyone always appeals to suspension. So the situation, right? He was brought in with 1 out. Reds were down 3-2. So it's a big moment in the game. He comes in to face Anthony Rizzo, gets him striking out on a slider. That's a big, awesome moment. You're excited. So we got 2 outs. He's yelling. He's pounding on his chest. Javi Baez, who also is no stranger to getting excited during a game, took a bit of exception, leapt towards the railing, gives them a number one sign here, and caused the benches to clear. So I think 7 games is way too harsh. I don't think Garrett is the one who instigated that by any means. I would put it more on Baez than on Garrett, but I don't think there should have been a suspension anywhere along the lines. So I'm curious. I don't know. I think it was dumb. I don't think MLB is very consistent on their suspensions when it comes to this stuff whatsoever.
No.
So what do you guys think on the 7 games? Is it too harsh, too lenient, just right? And then even just suspension aside, what do you think of Garrett's kind of reaction to getting the strikeout on Rizzo?
All right. Couple things. 1, 7 games, way too many. Hello, what are we doing? Maybe 1, fine him, maybe call it quits.
But whatever you do to him, do the same to Baez.
Bingo.
Right.
Because it wasn't even directed at Baez. Baez reacted to it. So, he struck out Rizzo. Rizzo puts his head down, walks to the bench. He kind of looks back, and then he just kind of whatever smiles under his breath and keeps walking. Rizzo didn't show exception to it. Baez, however, did the Baez thing. 7 games, way too much. Amir, maybe a little over the top, maybe too direct to Rizzo as well. You can read his lips. He's pointing. He's like, "You motherfucker!" This is my,
Yeah.
He kind of pushing the boundaries there. I like it, but I get where it's how it's too much for baseball. Yeah. At the same time, though, who cares? Fuck it. I don't know. Stop fighting.
Well,
just fucking throw the ball, yell at him, and then Baez, you got a problem? Come up and fucking slap a dinger. Who gives a shit?
Right. I agree with most of what you said. The 7 games, we all agree, that's way too harsh. He got 8 games last year when he literally told his coach, "I'm going to go mess these guys up," and just stormed Pittsburgh's dugout. He got 8 games for that, and then got 7 games for just yelling. Mm-hmm. So the suspension's ridiculous. That said, I think he was a little over the top. It was almost kind of annoying. I was like, dude, just calm down a little bit.
Dog,
first off, your team is losing.
And you have a 15 ERA on the season.
Right. You're not doing that well. Your team is losing. It's not the end of the inning. It's only the second out.
Right.
You still have another batter to go, man. And I don't know. That said, Javi should have just left it alone. Everyone should have just left it alone. There never should have been benches clearing.
Right.
Suspensions were needed. But again, calm down just a little bit, Amir. Just a little bit.
I didn't read MLB's statement on this one, but I did read it on the Castellanos one, and their justification for giving him 2-game suspension was COVID. He said, when you incite a brawl, you're potentially spreading more COVID. So I have to think that that's probably part of the thought process here. However, if you're concerned with that, why are you letting teams open up to full capacity for fans? That's a bullshit answer. And
they did announce that before 2020, saying, we can't have this, we can't have the benches clearing things, punishments will be harsher. So I guess there was fair warning, but what are you talking about? You're letting the whole stadiums open, right? And you're whatever. I guess because they can't make real money off the fans, you got to worry about the fucking players being out there playing the damn game and shit, so they can milk them dry, dude.
Right. You know what, Ty? Give us some good news, man. We're working up, getting ourselves too worked up here.
Good news. Drew Robinson, boys. Let's just clap real quick. Drew Robinson makes the Giants AAA roster. The Sacramento River Cats open their season tomorrow. And where else? But Robinson's hometown of LA or Las Vegas. Sorry.
Hell yeah.
So sick. Good for him. The ballpark actually kind of yikes, kind of cool. Is literally only 2 miles away from his home where he attempted suicide last year. So good for Drew Robinson, making it all the way back, made the team, crushing it with one eye, killing it. Never seen that done before, as far as we know.
I hope they bat him lead off and he leads off the game with a fucking home run because that would be the coolest shit ever.
Give me all the Drew Robinson feed. I want to see everything. I want to know everything, all of it. I want it.
I'm so excited for him.
Yeah, congratulations, Drew Robinson. One day you'll see this. It's going to be awesome.
Right. You'll be a guest on here too.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit of Kevin Kiermaier here, boys. Tone, I'm going to let you take away with this because you wanted to talk about it. So get after it, my guy.
I wanted to talk about this. So, Kevin Kiermaier in a game, I think it was like 5 days ago now.
Timeout, forgot.
Yes, sir.
Kevin.
So
handsome.
He is the most handsome man in baseball, regardless of what I'm about to say. But so it's the top of the sixth versus Oakland. It's a 1-1 game. There is a runner on third base. Mitch Moreland is at the plate. Randy Arozarena is in left field. Kiermaier is playing center field. Mm-hmm. Mitch Moreland hits a fly ball to dead left field. Like, I don't even think Arozarena had to move much at all. Like, he took like 3 steps, and it was right to him. Old Kevin, that is a hot name. Old Kevin comes all the way from like deep center, full sprint, and as the ball's about to go into Arozarena's glove, Kiermaier jumps in front of him, snags the ball,
literally
to
jumps.
home, literally like leapt in front of him, grabbed the ball, and then totally off balance throws it to home plate. Clearly doesn't get the runner at the plate in time, and Arozarena's just sitting there like, "What the hell just happened?" Mm-hmm. Like what? Like he's shaking his head like what is going on? It was like really awkward to watch, and then. What was even more awkward was the post-game interview when they asked him about it.
Oh, it was so bad.
It was seriously hard to watch. He was like, he was super conceited, and he started out by saying, yeah, I've got to tread really lightly with my words here, which is like a weird thing to say.
Right.
And then he goes on to say, I believe I'm the best defensive outfielder in the game. So you're not treading lightly at all.
Not at all. You are fucking treading heavy as shit, bro.
And he says that he's like, yeah, I tell my outfielders, like they're your outfielders. Like, come on, man. You're not the.
Yes, though. Yes.
No.
Yeah, the center fielder controls it all.
Okay, that's fine. I'm wrong on that then. But he says he tells his outfielders that if he can remotely get to a ball, he's making the throw.
Now that I don't agree with.
Right.
No.
It was just weird.
It was very weird.
It was weird. Are we terrible. Team Kevin or are we Team Randy, guys?
This experience, I'm Team Randy.
Yeah.
Dan?
100% Team Randy. Are you kidding me?
Okay. And I don't think Randy has a weak arm either, right?
Right. No, I don't think so either. Good. So my thing, I played a lot of center field. Definitely not at this level, my dudes, for sure.
Here's Kevin in the post-game interview.
Well, Nick, here's the deal. I'm gonna bet there is, plain and simple.
Nice.
So the thing is, having played center field for a long period of time, it is your outfield. You command the outfield. That's just like the chain of order. So if you're in outfield or if you're in center field and you call a ball, the other two are supposed to back off. It just helps avoid collisions. It helps get everything under control. So with that being said, also don't go to left field or right field to make a play when Randy's very capable of doing so.
Also, when you're playing the outfield, if there's a play at a base, whoever has the best angle to make the throw is the one who supersedes regardless.
Sure.
Correct. And I'm getting there. So if Randy would have backed off, Kevin, you're okay. Kevin could have rounded it, had the fucking throw. I get it. He could have had the route. It's fine. Should he have? No, don't fucking do that. But God, it's just so bad because, he resorts to the last second jump, like you guys said, literal jump, and then proceeds to take 3 more steps before starting his crow hop to line back up towards home. When Randy was camped under it, could have just crow hop and tried at least. Like, it is bullshit. Way too far across the line. Kevin, you're handsome, but you're dumb. As is, most of the case. Look at old Dan over here, dude.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not very smart.
Hella handsome though.
Handsome shit though, dude.
Should see me on a motorcycle.
Hey boys, real quick before we go into a real quick break, okay? We got a Todd watch, boys. We got a Todd watch here. Todd Frazier, the Todd father, is now batting .045 with 1 hit in 22 at-bats this season for the Pirates.
Oh, sorry. We're not supposed to clap on that one.
No.
Get after it, dog. Real quick question. Do you guys think if I had 22 chances in a Major League game, I could get 1 hit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even a blooper over the first baseman is.
I think you get 1 hit for sure.
I think I can get 1 as well, dude. Yeah. I'm coming for that Punk's job, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not fielding, though. I'm not going to play third base. Not a chance. Oh, snap. Good deal, Todd.
That's so bad. I love it.
So before we start digging into our predictions and looking back at April a little bit, I do want to ask you guys while you're here or after the show to head over to anchor.fm/upperdeckerpod/support. Become a monthly contributor over there. You can give us $1, $5, $10 a month. It's a great place, dude. I love Anchor. They distribute everything for us to all the listening platforms so y'all can hear us. It's just nice, man. Everything that we make via Anchor and via these monthly contributors goes right back into the pod. So, Dan just recently purchased all of like the Photoshops, the whole Adobe Studio, everything. And that was thanks to you guys a little bit. So we're getting all these new graphics up. We're getting new videos, trying to get some type of whatever going. That's thanks to you guys.
When your boy can get a little break from work, we can actually have an e-shop as well with some merch on it. So hoping to have that up here in the next, 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah. So if you guys want to wear our faces or, you want to get a shirt that just says like Jesus Lizard or some shit, we will do some dumb stuff. So we just need your money to get us to that dumb stuff portion. Hey, Tone, you're mic'd. Speaking of dumb stuff, you're muted, bro. You imbecile. He's trying real hard, boys. Look at him.
He's working.
What is going on?
There it is.
Man.
Good job, Tone.
That's all right.
Hey, what do you think about
We're professionals.
What do you think about a Jesus Lizard t-shirt, bro?
That's what I was trying to say, is that that's a great idea.
So good. All right.
Super good idea.
Are you guys ready to start digging into a little bit of the April review?
Yeah.
Tone, I see you have a graphic you've shared with me. Should I put the graphic up?
Put it up, baby.
Look at this. We've been doing it.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, real quick also. Dan, sell beard clippings. You have to. It's only fair.
All right. I can do that. If you guys are going to buy it, I'll for sure do it.
Hell yeah. Just get a bag of Dan's face hair. Sick.
What you're hoping is my face hair.
Oof.
Just kidding. I don't have to.
All righty. So, Tone, you can navigate this pretty quick. You do it. Tell us about it. What do we got?
Well, so we're looking at the standings, the current standings in Major League Baseball. I shouldn't say current. I think it's a day old, but pretty much the current standings in Major League Baseball by division. You can see their records. You can see their win pace. So that's basically, if they keep going how they are now, that's how many wins they would finish with.
Okay.
And then the playoff odds are not based on their pace. It's based on, all right, this is how many wins they have, but it evaluates how talented their team is. And, given their record, where they think realistically they will finish at the end of the year. And that's all according to Fangraphs. Okay. They provided that via ESPN, I saw today. So you'll see some teams that are at the top that still have really low playoff odds. And that's because we know that realistically those teams will probably not be there in 5 months. So that said,
makes sense.
Let's take a look.
Okay. So, Tone.
Yes.
You can see down here on the bottom right of your little graphic you got, you, as of right now, have 13 and a half correct predictions. You are crushing the game.
Yeah, he is.
By
the way, the half was awarded because the Brewers and the Cardinals are currently tied for first. So you got a half a point for either one of those predictions.
Correct.
Just to update the fans.
Yep. And then, Dan, you are right behind him at 11 and a half.
Right where I like to be, right behind Tone.
I have 5, killing it. And I only have 5 because I have 2 halves. So look at me go. So at the beginning of the season, before it started, we talked about like record predictions, and all that. So I kind of went through and bolded those all on our little notes over here too. Tone, if we're going, so I gave us like plus or minus 3. I gave us 3-game cushion right now. So let's see, you have Houston. You had them going 89 and 73. So right now they're projected to win 87 wins.
So that counts.
So that counts because you're within the 3 that I gave us.
Okay.
So Tone, you've got 4 of those. Dan, you've got 5, and your boy's got 6.
Is that interesting?
But who has a perfect record?
Yeah, Dan, I was getting there, bro.
It's all right. I just want to make sure we got there.
Yeah, so you predicted the White Sox would finish the season at 90 and 72. And if you look at underneath the White Sox right now, they are on pace for exactly 90 wins. You are the only one with the correct prediction in fucking May, Dan. Cool your jets, bro.
It's all right. It's one more than you have.
That is true. Yeah, so we've pretty much all got the last place teams basically figured out. You know, Seattle's kind of throwing you guys for a loop.
That's all right. They'll remember who they are soon enough.
Yeah. You guys have all of the last place teams guessed correctly except for Seattle. And I have 4 of the 6 also, you know, except for Seattle. And then Arizona kind of throwing me off too. I figured they would be worse than they were, and they're not. So good on you, Arizona, proving me wrong. Zach Gallen, my boy, getting her done. David Peralta swinging a hot bat out there. I love it. Is there anything else about these you guys want to talk about right now?
I just want to know, just overall, like what stands out to you guys as like big surprise? Anything that surprises you, or anything that you're like, nope, that's pretty much how I thought it would go down.
Tell you what doesn't surprise me.
Shut up. Just shut the fuck up. He's going to say the fucking Red Sox. That's what he's going to say. How did you not see that? You know, the biggest surprise on here is the NL West for me.
Really?
Yeah, the Giants. I mean,
I get that.
Giants are winning. I mean, yeah, we expected the Dodgers and Padres to have a freaking tight race, but I didn't expect the Giants to be in that race either. So
I didn't either. I don't think they'll stay in there very long. But
I don't think they will either.
I don't know.
But
they're getting really good performances out of guys like we mentioned, Desclafani earlier. For me, the NL East, it's just as close as I thought it would be.
Oh, brutal though.
But
it's not good at all, man. It is what I think the NL Central would be.
Yes.
In the NL Central, you have the Brewers and the Cardinals with some of the better records in all of baseball right now. So
right.
That's a little shocking. The low men on the totem pole don't surprise me. Like you said, we pretty much all guessed those. Detroit, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. We knew Colorado was going to be bad. We knew Miami would be not terrible, but probably the worst team in that division.
Right.
There's other things too that we called to some extent. Like we talked about Kansas City could be sneaky good. Well, here they are in first place on pace to win 96 games. I don't think any of us predicted that they were going to win the division, obviously, but
no.
I don't know. Kind of cool.
I mean, they kind of could now.
Their talent is – they don't seem as fluky as, like, the Giants to me.
Correct.
Right.
Like, I actually see the talent. I actually see where those wins are coming from.
Right.
Well, it also helps that they've got Danny Duffy just pitching absolutely out of his freaking mind right now, too.
Sure.
So
yeah, Mike Minor coming back to Kansas City, not doing too bad out there either.
Right.
And it helps that, you know, the White Sox are just broken completely. The Indians, we talked about them being the Indians. I mean, they're still on pace for 84 wins, which is pretty good. I mean, I'll take it. It's over 500. So
that's about where I had them, I think.
Yeah, I think the Twins and the Yankees are probably the biggest disappointment on this list. Maybe the Braves, but it's also still close enough in that division where I wouldn't count them as a disappointment just yet. I would definitely say Minnesota and the Yankees have been huge disappointments, though.
Yeah, very much. Look at your A's up there, boys. I like that AL West. I like the way that's shaping up. I need the Angels to get hot because I let my nuts hang. I need them to get closer to the top for your boy.
Yeah.
So they got 3 games in hand on Seattle right there looking at it, so they could easily flip with them. So
yeah, see, we're fine. They've got as many wins as the Texas Rangers, though, so that's something.
Ooh, let's not talk about that.
That is the thing, too. When you're looking at teams that have, you know, like the Mets, an 11-12 record, like their season has barely started. There's 6 games played behind the Cardinals, the Brewers, a lot of other National League teams and MLB teams. So there's a long way to go. We're not putting too much stock into this, but it is cool just to look and see kind of how it's shaping out so far, and then we'll revisit it next month. And
yep, we'll be back next month to talk about him again, huh?
Right.
Absolutely. Curious what your guys' thoughts are too, the listeners here. So feel free to chime in on comments and let us know your biggest surprise, whatever you think has been the most pleasant surprise versus the biggest disappointment too. So not only the teams, but we're going to start getting into the MVPs and Cy Young. So chime in with that as well as we're going along.
What a great idea, Dan.
What a great segue.
I didn't even think about it. Look at us out here.
Look at us.
Like we've done this before.
Damn. All righty. So the NL MVP race. Dan, look at us, my dude.
I think we got this one unlocked so far. First month, there's no way Acuna wasn't the NL MVP.
Yeah, I mean, he was player of the month. So we're pretty much, we're the greatest. So it's fine. Don't sweat it.
I like it.
He's doing pretty well.
Soto, Tone. What's going on there, bro?
I mean, he's not playing bad. I mean, he hasn't played that much is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually haven't kept up too much to see exactly what's going on with him. But, I mean, he's got about half the at-bats that Acuna has. But he's batting 294, 854 OPS isn't out of this world, but that's still solid.
Really
so
good.
It's for just being the month of April, we know what he can do in just a few weeks, like the tears he can go on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried, but that said, props to Acuna because holy cow, man, he is just having a freaking season so far.
Yeah, you know who else is having a season so far, Tone? Your AL MVP.
Yeah, Mike Trout's doing his thing, dude. He's like, well, and Ty, I think you were the one that informed us that he was watching video from last year and found something in his swing that he's like, oh, that's why. Like an issue in his swing, as if he was so bad last year or the year before.
Yeah, no, he straight up said it. He's like, this is why I was so bad last year. He's like, I'll come out swinging this year. We'll fix it. Don't worry. I think he's right.
I think he found it.
Whatever.
He's the only batter left with over a 400 average, and we're a month into the season. Now, not saying he's obviously going to finish with a 400 average, but we're a month into the season. He's batting 407. That's pretty goddamn good.
He's hitting all around too. He's hitting for power. He's not stealing bases anymore at this point in his career, but he proved he had that capability several years ago. But I mean, the OPS plus of 258 is stupid.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Stupid.
I kind of hate him because if it wasn't for him, then my guy would actually have more of a shot of the actual AL MVP right now.
Mm-hmm.
With Shohei, once you figure in his pitching side as well. But I mean, Shohei's got a 155 OPS plus, and he's leading the American League in home runs with 9, and he's also leading the American League in Ks per 9. Ty and I looked this up earlier too, so it's silly.
I think what surprises me most about Ohtani, like I'm glad that he's healthy and doing his thing. Look at that stolen base column.
Yeah. Right?
What are we doing? What planet are we on?
He's not like a little dude, you know. He's a big dude to be swiping bags.
He has more stolen bases than he does walks.
Wow.
That's weird.
That's weird. Yeah. Not necessarily good, but weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Defoe's striking out a lot, though, boys. He's swinging not as much as my guy, but we're not going to talk about that, Mr. Matt Chapman.
What is going on with Matty Chaps,
dude? I don't know. I knew making this pick was going to be risky because we know that the power and the offensive side of Matt Chapman is subpar most of the time. I mean, this is also a guy who's hit 36 dingers in a season before.
I wouldn't say it's like sub league average, but it's not.
It's not MVP calibers.
Right. If he wins MVP, it's going to be, his defense is going to be a huge factor because he's not going to finish number one in very many offensive categories.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. I figured if he, came out swinging, has a good season, the A's make the playoffs, he gets another Gold Glove, then MVP is definitely in reach for him. But he's going to have to pick it up a little bit because he's not even making contact with the ball right now. With 43 strikeouts, he's got a 202 batting average right now, so not the best. 4 dingers, 13 ribs, 13 runs. Do your thing, Matty Chaps. I guess just do it better.
Trout's on-base percentage is within 180 points of Chapman's on-base plus slugging. That just goes to show how good of a season Trout's having too.
For sure. So you and me, Dan, crushing it in the NL MVP race. I think Tone's got it right now with Mr. Trout.
Yeah.
Ohtani very close with the 2. I mean, I'm trickling in like a 20. Give it time, though. I have faith in all Matty Chaps.
It'll even out a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
Make me feel better. Let's talk about Cy Young now.
Okay.
Yeah, man. We're doing okay, me and you.
Yeah, we're crushing it. Except for in the AL, we're not going to talk about that one too much.
No. We'll get there. There.
Yeah, NL. I mean, as long as DeGrom is healthy and he comes back, everything's going to be great. Right now, he is 2-2. Thanks a lot, the rest of the Mets. In his 5 starts, he's got 5 quality starts. He's thrown 35 innings. His ERA is a league-leading .51. His WHIP is a .571. He leads the National League in strikeouts with 59. Hey, that ERA plus is a big number at 764. K per 9 leading the entire league with 15.2. Hits per 9 also leading the entire league at 4.1. DeGrom, I would say cool your jets, but I think you're doing just that right now. So don't do it much more.
You know who's not doing real good?
Yeah.
Is Luis Castillo.
Yeah.
I don't know what his issue. It's not really a control issue. He's only got 8 walks. It's gotta be like his shit's just gotta not be hidden very well. Like batters have got to be seeing it coming out of his hand really easily. Because he is getting lit up. 6.07 ERA, 1.618 WHIP is brutal.
Yeah.
His 7.3 K per 9 and his 12.1 hits per 9 are atrocious. So it's gotta be
should be flipped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's gotta be tipping pitches. Has to be. That's the only thing that makes any sense. Because his slider is still nasty. If you watch him, it's still got great movement, but he's got to be there's got to be a tell in there somewhere where batters know when the slider's coming, so they're laying off and they're just waiting on that fastball changeup. It's got to be something like that.
Maybe, or I don't know. Maybe he's lost like a little bit of velocity. I didn't really look it up. Maybe like, even like 2 miles an hour on your fastball or some shit. If you can't pair that with the slider that he has, and there's not as big of a difference between his fastball and changeup, which is changeup's also a big out pitch for him.
Yes.
If they're just kind of, if the changeup's not moving, if the fastball's velocity is a little lower, it could be any one of these things, which is leading to, the whip of 1.618, where everybody's getting on base, just crushing him. Strikeouts per 9 way down, like you said, hits per 9 way up. It's not looking great. I mean, his ERA is a 6.07 and his FIP is a 4.69.
Right.
Hurts him a little bit, but not much.
Right. I mean, you can still get that way down. I mean, look at DeGrom's 0.82 FIP. So his FIP is higher than his ERA, but it's still below 1. DeGrom's on another planet, dudes. But Luis Castillo, I don't know, only 1 quality start as well. So it's not like he's going very deep into games, and even when he is, he's not getting the outs that he needs. He's giving up a lot of runs.
He's not missing bats either at all.
Yeah, his velo is definitely down, but it's not down a ton. It's only down 1 mile an hour over last year, pretty much across the board, across all the pitches. But yeah, what you were just saying is he's not missing bats. His barrel percentage is just, I got to go back up to it here. Yeah. He was at a 4.5 barrel percentage last year. He's at an 8%, almost twice as much, twice as frequently. They're barreling the ball on him. They're not hitting it any harder. Their average exit velo is definitely higher, but the max isn't. But the hard hit percentage is up almost 2 points as well. So it all leads to basically they know what's coming.
Yeah, I wonder about that tipping pitches.
So get better, Castillo, basically, from my boy Dan.
That's all right, though, because I got the AL Cy Young pretty much locked up.
I was going to say, speaking of getting better, Tone, let's talk Lucas Giolito real quick before we let Dan gloat. So you and I both chose the same Cy Youngs for NL and AL. Giolito, not doing Giolito things. What do you feel there, Tone?
I don't know. I mean, he's never been a super, even when he's at his best, he's not a super low ERA guy. He's the type of guy that can be pitching out of his mind and still have an ERA in the 3s, but he's missing tons of bats, and he's missing some bats. He's got 41 strikeouts on the year, but it's not the numbers that we expected. The ERA plus of 82 is not good at all. The FIP credits him about half an earned run, 4.25. But I don't know, man. He's just letting up too many hits. I mean, 8 hits a game or 8 hits per 9 innings, I should say, is not great. and it sounds like they're connecting on the long ball too. So
this looks more like the Giolito of old, like
the Washington
Giolito, not Giolito.
Right.
This is Giolito. And I wonder if last year may have been a little fluky instead of, him finally coming into his own. I don't know what you feel about that, Tone, but maybe that's kind of what my eyes are seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to tell because when a player, if a player comes up, through the minors or from overseas or wherever, and if they're not like highly touted and they start off slow and then they have one really good year, you just assume it's a fluke. But Giolito was very highly touted. He was like, everyone was talking about him. So then you look at it differently, and you're like, oh, it's just a slow start, and then it's been 3 or 4 years or whatever. Right. But then he comes to Chicago, and when he has that year like he did last year, it's like, oh, there he is. That's what we've been waiting for. And you assume that's just who he is, and he's going to do that the rest of his career. And maybe not. I don't know. It's just tough to tell.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I do think he's got the potential there, but he just has to figure out how to wrap it all up, with a pretty little bow.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I was hoping this year would be it for you guys, but not so much.
Yeah, go ahead and talk about your guy. It's fine.
Okay. So Garrett Cole was my pick for AL Cy Young, and he's arguably the AL Cy Young right now through the first month. I would say it's probably a 3-man race between him, Means, and Danny Duffy, but Let's go into Garrett Cole really fast. I'm not
disrespect on Glass now.
I'm not including him, just on principle. I'm not including him.
Unbelievable.
So he leads the American League in wins, leads in WHIP, leads in FIP, leads in K per 9. He's got a 1.43 ERA, which is pretty outstanding. A 0.717 WHIP, 62 Ks to 3 walks is just insanity. And a 275 ERA plus is it's pretty solid. So for me, bias aside, because obviously I picked him, I do think he is the AL Cy Young over Means and Duffy. I know Means he's got a slightly lower ERA now after the no-hitter today, and he's got the no-hitter to his name. Danny Duffy, though, like with that 0.60 ERA is nasty. He has thrown almost 8 innings less than Cole. So from, a standpoint that way, and then 34 Ks to 9 walks. So the sexy stats aren't quite in Duffy's favor as much as they are in Cole's. So, but honestly, those 3, you could give it to really any of them at this point in time. But I do like where I'm at with Cole here. I think he's built the best for long-term success.
He's built different.
They don't make them like they used to.
Yeah, so you've got those 3 you were just mentioning, but then you've got this guy named Tyler Glass now, and then like just this other dude, like Shane Bieber, kind of having a great season still, but not as Shane Bieber-y as last year, but still a great season. So
but I mean 68 Ks to 62, so it's not like Bieber's exactly pulling away from Cole either. So Cole's got him in ERA. So
yeah, well, whatever, dude. It's going to be Glass now. It's fine. I just missed it by a year. I get it.
Okay. It's fine. Whatever you say, bud.
All right. Let's get to rookies real quick because we're going to fly through these. Hasn't been a good move yet.
No.
All 3 of us not doing too great on any of them. Tone, you and I just teaming up again. Ke'Bryan Hayes missed a lot. He's only played 2 games, I believe.
Yeah.
So he's 1 for 5. Not even going to dig through the stats. The one hit is a home run, so good for him. But
a killer OPS, man.
Yeah, but the rest of it not great. Ian Anderson, he started the season scaring me a little bit, Dan, but he's kind of smoothed that all back out, and he's on pace to have a pretty decent season. So I'll give you that one. Pretty proud of you.
He's getting there. He still needs to have a little bit better.
Correct. He's trying to bring down a very high ERA after starting the season pretty bad. So I think give it a couple more starts. It's going to keep lowering. I am very glad that I didn't pick my original thought, which is Sixto Sanchez, because we haven't even seen that boy yet.
Right.
Yeah.
But is there anything, Tone, about Ke'Bryan Hayes? Do you think that he can still make it? Like if he comes back soon? I don't know his status, but say he comes back in like a week or 2. What do you think his chances are?
Yeah, if he comes back in a week or 2, I think he's got a shot. Assuming he plays how he did in his brief time last year.
Right.
Or even close to that. I think he's got a shot. So, but yeah, he's got to get on the field though.
Yeah. And then Ian Anderson, like I said, I think you're on good pace here, Dan. What do you like about him so far this season? Is there anything you got?
He's definitely turned it around after that rough start. That's for damn sure. I do like, if you look at it, the FIP and the ERA are pretty much close, so you're getting exactly what you think you're going to get from him.
Right.
The ERA plus of 138 tells me that he's at least on the right track, so I do like that. 2 quality starts. He's got 2 wins, 2 quality starts, so that's pretty solid. So he just really, kind of what we were talking about earlier, he just needs to be a quality starter for the Braves to get them deep into the postseason. I think if the Braves win the East, Ian Anderson has a much better shot at being the Rookie of the Year this year.
For sure. I really like that whip too. Like, even though his ERA is up in the 3s, he's got a whip of 1.2. So he's getting that number down. He's only allowing a little over 1 base runner per inning, which is great. So you keep on that pace, then, everything else is going to fall down with it as well. So good for him. Ian Anderson, keep it going, please. I love you. Please. Tone. All right, I'll be honest. All 3 of us real bad.
Real bad. All the way around.
Not even fun to talk about, dude. I was going to give one of us a little bit of slack, but no, we're all doing real bad right now.
The problem is Bobby Dahlbeck has like Brian Hayes totals, but he's had 80 at bats.
Yeah. Bobby Dahlbeck.
Bobby Dahlbeck.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, my guy has, half the ABs you do, a little over half. Still got the same amount of hits, though, Andrew Vaughn. That Andrew Vaughn is one fine piece of ace, my guy.
Hey.
Nothing experience, dude.
He has 0 home runs compared to the Bobby Dahlbeck 1. Mm-hmm. Not looking too hot on the offensive end from either one of those. So we'll have to kind of keep an eye out on that, and hopefully next month that changes. Dan, you went 2 pitchers for the Rookie of the Year. Talk about Tristan McKenzie. Boy.
I know I did. He's not been stellar. Only 18.2 innings pitched, so time enough to turn it around. But a 6.27 ERA isn't lovely. I would feel a lot better about that if his FIP wasn't also a 6.38. So he's kind of right where you would expect to see him.
Right.
So I need, he's got a 14K per 9, so that's pretty good. I just need him to, when they don't miss the bat, it needs to stop being hits and home runs, and he needs to slow down on the walks. He's issued 18 walks in 18 innings. That's not good.
No, that's not good. His hits per 9 isn't terrible. It's not good, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not 6.27 ERA bad. It's right. To me, it's the walks, and it's when they do get hits.
They're big. Yeah, they're painful. Yeah. So he definitely needs to control the walks. If he can control the walks, then he can have a little bit better of a time. He'd have a little bit easier go of things. So
sure.
Are you mad at us yet for convincing you that Tristan McKenzie was the greatest thing to ever happen?
No, because I definitely wouldn't have picked like Yarman Mercedes either for AL Rookie of the Year. So no matter what I would have done, it wouldn't have been great.
Fair enough. At least I chose the right team. Look at me getting Andrew Vaughn. Because Yerman's probably going to get it already after the fucking run that he's had.
Yeah. He's the Rookie of the Month, too. So it's a good start for him.
Yep, good start for that boy. That wraps up the old April predictions and review, hey?
Yeah.
That's all we got. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap it up here. Let's talk about our boys. I'll talk about our boys from last week. Talk about our upcoming boys. It's a short week because of a Wednesday airing, so it's going to go Wednesday through Sunday for our boys this week. But I do want to say I won last week. God, I'm the greatest. Remember how good I am at this, guys?
You did win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris Bryant, pretty much the best thing that's ever happened to me. He hit a grand slam, as we were recording?
As we were recording, yeah.
As we were recording, he hit a grand slam, which was pretty fucking tight. He finished the rest of the week out 10 for 24 with a slash line of 417, 500, 1.042, and an OPS of 1.542, mainly thanks to the 4 home runs and the 3 doubles that he hit over that span. He had 10 RBIs, 6 runs, 4 walks, and 7 Ks. Chris Bryant gonna look good in that Braves uniform, baby.
We'll see. I went with DJ LeMahieu last week, hoping he would kickstart that Yankees offense. Didn't do bad. Nice average, 296, but didn't do any damage. His on-base percentage was 406, but his slug was 333.
Mm-hmm.
So
lots of singles.
Yeah, 730 OPS. He had one double, but no ribbies. Scored some runs, 7 runs. Didn't strike out much. So kind of like typical leadoff hitter stats. Mm-hmm. But I think he's a different type of leadoff hitter. At least he should be. And he is when he's performing. So right. I think you hope for a little bit more than that for sure. You want to see some pop in there as well. So
you definitely want some more than what you got from Adolis Garcia last week as well. So I definitely brought up the rear on this one. Missed predicting him as my boy by 1 week. I think he slashed 167, 250, a 167 slugging. So he literally only had singles all week for a 417 OPS. No home runs, no doubles, as I mentioned. 1 RBI, though. Scored 3 runs, walked 2 times, but also struck out 10 times. So I do still think he's going to have a good year, but that was not his best week.
Yeah, I wasn't looking too hot, dude. Is he a rookie? Is he rookie?
Mm-hmm.
He's rookie, yeah.
Yep.
So we'll have to keep an eye on him because he has been very hot down in Texas. So yes. Keep an eye on that as we go forward. See if he can overpass Mr. Mercedes up in Chicago. Moving forward, I'm letting my nuts hang this week, I think. Went with a safe bet, Chris Bryant, last week. This week, I'm going Logan Webb. So Logan on the season has 5 starts, 28.1 innings pitched, 13 earned runs for a 4.13 ERA with 28 Ks, 11 walks. Not the greatest of numbers you want to see for a guy who you're kind of got a little wager on. But, I mean, I like what I saw. It wasn't his most recent start. It was 2 starts ago. He shut out Miami. I get it, Miami. Shut out Miami over 7 innings pitched. So I'm kind of hoping to see more of that. I think he starts tonight, actually, against the Rockies at Coors.
I hope he gets lit up.
So I'm a little nervous, but I have faith, man. He looks good. He's only in his 3rd season. I like what I see. He's honing his craft, and I think that he's actually going to end up being a pretty decent pitcher. I hope it starts tonight.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I'm going Josh Donaldson, or I would say Dosh Jonaldson.
Dosh Jonaldson.
He's kind of had a slow-ish start at the plate this year. He's got a 268 average. Does have an 800 OPS, so he's hitting doubles, he's got a couple home runs, 7 RBIs, all over 56 ABs. But I'm excited about this week. He's got 2 games at home versus Texas.
Okay.
And I peeped that schedule. They're gonna miss Gibson and Dunning. So they're gonna get the bottom part of the Rangers rotation. Then they're gonna go to Detroit, who we know has just been absolutely disastrous.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about them in a minute.
Yep, for 3 games. And I checked that schedule, and not that they have anybody pitching that well for them, but they're going to miss Casey Mize and Spencer Turnbull. So, not that they're pitching that well, but it's definitely very, very, very favorable matchups for Josh Donaldson. So,
I can't argue with that. I definitely went with the matchups this week as well. So I picked Hunter Renfroe, who has been off to a pretty slow start. 222, 275, 389, 664 slash line. So not
off to a slow career.
Not good at all. However, I'm ignoring that. Last night he went 3 for 4, including 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a home run.
Okay.
His last series against Texas, the first 2 games he went 0 for 7. Then the second 2 games, the second part of the 4-game series, he went 3 for 8 with 2 runs, 3 RBIs, including another home run. This coming week, including right now, Boston is playing against Detroit at home. Detroit's pitching has been arguably the worst in the entire league. They're 30th in ERA, 28th in WHIP, 26th in walks, 29th in strikeouts, 25th in batting average against, and 26th in runs against. That's pretty dog shit.
Pretty bad.
And then he goes to Baltimore, who, started off the season hot, but now they're kind of remembering that they're the Orioles. So I think there's a lot of upside there for him, especially in a short week. So I'm really hoping he puts me back in the W column here. Getting hot at the right time against bad pitching.
Spoiler alert, if I was a smart man, I would have checked and saw that the Giants played today already. Not great on my end. We'll get into that on Monday. So tune in next week, guys. Thanks for listening. Tell us what you think about the show on all of our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of it, Upper Decker Pod, TikTok, Upper Decker Pod. Haven't posted anything yet because boomers. So we're getting there.
Old.
Yeah, we're getting there. Don't sweat it. Go follow us. We'll figure it all out at some point. Again, thanks for listening here. Thanks for joining the comments section, the stream, all of that. Tone, if they want to listen to this episode when I get it posted, where can they do such?
Just about anywhere. You can watch the video on our socials. You can go to Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of those places, and you can listen to it there. If you're doing that, leave us a review or a rating. Give us 5 stars. Tell us we're doing an awesome job. We appreciate it. It helps us kind of move up in the little algorithms that be on there. So and if you want to help us out financially, Dan will tell you how to do that.
Absolutely. So Ty talked about it earlier, but you can become a monthly contributor with us at anchor.fm/upperdeckerpod/support. You can sign up to be a 99-cent a month contributor, $4.99 a month, or $9.99 a month contributor right there on the Anchor website. Or if you would prefer just to give us a one-time donation, you can reach out to any of us on social, or you can shoot us an email at upperdeckerpod2020@gmail.com, and we will tell you how to where to direct your one-time donation. Again, the donations go to making the show better, so buying more equipment, getting merchandise set up. Now we've got Photoshop. We can kind of get some cool stuff going on for the merch. So all of your money makes that possible. And we can eventually maybe go to do some cool stuff, like go to spring training, get some player interviews at spring training. That's the long-term goal. So
I will buy Mike Trout for you guys. If you give me enough money that I can pull it up, I will buy Mike Trout. And you guys can take turns getting a piggyback from him.
I like where that went because I thought it was going somewhere totally different.
Trying to be professional here, boys. Thanks for tuning in to the Upper Decker Podcast, episode 62. We will see you next week for episode 63.
Peace.